Alright, so a few days ago I released a video talking a bit about March of Giants, and there's actually something interesting that happened, and you have to remember that the alpha that's currently going on is supposed to end on the 14th, and I currently assume that they will keep that date. But they just released a patch for a closed alpha, which is something that I didn't expect at all. And you might think to yourself right now, Khaldor, what the hell do I care? It's a closed alpha. What do I care if they're actually patching this? Even if it's just 4 days before the alpha is over, does it even make sense? And I kind of agree with you, but at the same time, we're going to go over these patch notes real quickly because there's a couple of things in there that I find super interesting and that really tell us a lot about where they want to go with the game. So the first thing that I actually really like is that they released a patch at all. So they took some feedback from the community and they just said, you know what guys, you're right, we are going to adjust things a little bit. Now, I'm obviously at this point, I will fully admit it, I am hopium like hopped up completely because I've been looking for a second game that I can sink my teeth in for a while now. Heroes is great, but Heroes is also pretty stale. We get a few more patches recently, which is kind of nice, but at the same time, let's be honest, the game is to a large extent staying the same since we are not getting any new content. So something that mixes things up a little bit would be more than welcome, and I've been more than once a bit so, like, disappointed and unpleasantly surprised how games that I really thought had a lot of potential were just not delivering. So now I'm looking at March of Giants, I'm having tons of fun playing the alpha, I'm really surprised by all of the new elements that come in, and I'm just looking at that game thinking, hey, this is actually awesome. If they can develop this further, this has a lot of potential to be not only a fun game, but maybe also something that's viable for esports. So I fully admit, right from the start, I'm looking for good signs and I am searching for them. But when I look at the patch notes here, I think this is pretty interesting. So one of the things that they're addressing very quickly is that they've heard from players that they're concerned about the match length. And I am actually one of those players. I posted that feedback to some of the developers. I also talked about it on the Reddit. And I just don't want to end up with another MOBA where you have games that last on average 45 minutes, where you can be locked into a game that lasts an hour. This is just not really a thing. Now, Heroes of the Storm has really broken through this. It was one of the initial reasons why I actually played the game. I loved the objectives on the map. I loved that it forced people to fight early. They didn't just spend the entire game sitting in a jungle and waiting for everybody to be ready for team fights. And I just like that you could play games kind of in between. Now, Heroes of the Storm has a very, very short game length, and it doesn't necessarily have to be that. I'm totally fine if the game is hitting for the 30 to 35 minute mark for an average game. You can obviously have outliers. But that was one of the big question marks for me. I was looking at this and I was thinking, hey, what are they trying to do here? The games that you played in the alpha took a lot longer. And you can always make the argument and say, look, this is a closed alpha, nobody knows how to play, everybody's just checking giants out right now, abilities, wants to know what the game is about. Once that people figure things out, the game length is going to adjust. And that is 100% true. I do not disagree at all. But at this point, I had no idea what their intentions were. Were they aiming for like a 45-minute average? Were they aiming for something smaller? And us now seeing these changes right here, that is actually really big. So every single change that you see highlighted here is actually designed to keep the game length a little bit shorter and to make it easier to end in the late game. And I think that's pretty incredible because it clearly tells us that they've listened to the feedback, they looked at it and they said, okay, we're going to be aiming for a shorter game length than, let's say, Dota 2. And that's huge. So not only do the developers really actively already look at the feedback, they're already implementing it, but they're also sending us a couple of signals saying like, hey, this is what we like the game to be when it's done, and they're going to try and just develop it towards that goal. Now we have a few more things which I really like. The reduced frequency of announcer voice lines. I mean, if you played the game already, then you know the second that your own bastion was being attacked, it was absolutely crazy. Sirens pinging everywhere. You were 50,000 times informed that your bastion is under attack, sometimes even when nobody was there, just because one soldier was still standing around in the corner. It was definitely a little bit too much, so they already addressed that too. And I really, really like that. Now, if you want to experience the game yourself, keep in mind that it's still in alpha for a couple of days. Now, it is a closed alpha. You won't necessarily get access, but I can heavily recommend that you check out their website and try to sign up. There's a lot of people that get access pretty much immediately, and I think it very much depends on where you're from. They're going to try and test out how people perform from different regions, so you might be one of the lucky ones that gets a key right away. and I would heavily recommend that you give it a shot, because the game is a lot of fun, and I'm finding myself currently playing more and more and really trying to learn all of the giants that are in the game so far, which is 15, and try to play around with them a little bit. So I have high hopes that this could be a cool game. I'm really liking that they're putting small things out like this just to give us a general idea of which direction they're headed, and I hope that we're going to get more of it. I'm also going to try to get maybe an interview with one of the developers or somebody else that is working on the team to just get an idea of, hey, what are they trying to do? What are their long-term goals? And I'm kind of excited for it. So it was a bit of a shorter video here, but I hope that you can take something from it. So if you have any questions, feel free to post in the comments. I've already seen in the recent comments of the recent video, that a lot of you guys have actually already played the game a bit. So you can share also your experience there, what you liked, what you didn't like, and where you would like them to go. But I think there's a lot of potential in this game. Obviously, we don't know too much yet. I would like to know if they are working on different maps, if it's going to be just one map. And I honestly doubt it a little bit, just from the way that I feel they're trying to fit a certain niche where they are distinguishing themselves a little bit from other MOBAs. I really think there's a good chance that we're going to get multiple maps in this game, and that they're not looking to only give us one single map that we play over and over again. So I feel the team has a couple of cool ideas. And well, we'll see. I'm certainly excited. I hope you are too. Let me know in the comments what you think about it, what you think about the patch. If you think this is going in the right direction, do you prefer longer games? Would you like them to be even shorter? Just share it with me a little bit. This game isn't Heroes of the Storm, but it could be a really cool, fun MOBA that is in active development and has future potential. So that's it for me from today. Have a good one, guys. Enjoy.